All right, chickadees, I'm back for the last strategy that we're going to be going over today. It's actually the same strategy that we just did, equivalent fractions. However, I really want to go over these benchmark fractions again. It's been a while. Benchmark fractions here literally just means common fractions. Fractions that people use a lot. They use them so much that they usually memorize about how much that fraction is worth. Most people aren't going to talk to you in terms of 25 hundredths or 2/10ths, but this step is really going to be important because as you get into middle school, you're going to learn about how to create percents, and these here all match your most common percents. Oops, that's not what I wanted to say. That matches 20%. This matches 25%, this one matches 50%, and this one matches 75%. You're going to learn in middle school that all you're doing is multiplying these by 100, and that just puts your fraction over 100. This is 20 over 100. Again, this is all equivalent fractions. This is 25 over 100, 50 over 100, and 75 over 100. So you're really just going to learn a lot more about that in middle school, but what I want you guys to start building an understanding of here is these fractions are super common, and they're so common that we're probably going to learn them over time. You do not have to know them right now, but one thing that you'll find over time as you do memorize these fractions and how much they are equivalent to as a decimal, that will really help you in some division problems. Sometimes you might do a problem and you'll actually be able to find that it is equivalent to one of these benchmark fractions, and that's going to make it super easy to solve. So let's look at 6 divided by 30 equals n. I can write this as a fraction, 6 over 30, and right away I notice that I can divide and simplify this fraction down. I can actually divide 30 by 6, and I know that if I divide this by 6, I'm going to get 1. 6 divided by 6 is 1. If I divide this by 6, I'm going to have 5. Right away I see 1/5. That's one of my benchmark fractions over here, and I know that that equals 2/10. That's really nice. As you learn and memorize those, that's going to be really helpful. So again, I don't expect you to have these memorized right now, but I just want to show you why memorizing these is going to be helpful and show you how this equivalent fraction method can make things really, really easy. Let's look at another one. 9 divided by 12 equals n. This is 9 over 12, 9/12, and right away I see that I can simplify this down. I can divide each of these by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 3/4 is one of my benchmark fractions. It is 75 hundredths or 75% if that's easier for you to think about. This 75 hundredths here. And one thing that's easy to think about too is if you know 1/4, then you already know 3/4, right? Because 1/4 is 25 hundredths. And then if you just add 2 more fourths, that's just adding 2 more 25 hundredths. 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15. 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Here's your decimal. So you already know those. You could even find out, and if you had 2/5 instead of 1/5, that's just going to be 2/10 plus 2/10. So this method and these strategies really open up a lot of easy doors, but it does take a little time because it does involve memorizing some benchmark fractions. So I'm just going to be throwing these in here as regularly as I can. You'll notice in this section of the lesson, they're actually written for you at the top of the page. But I just want you to keep your eyes peeled for any time that you notice something like these or an equivalent fraction to these, that you are already going to know the answer as you memorize these. All right, team. that's what I have for you today. You guys are amazing. I miss you.